And you're on YouTube. Can you kill the speakers?
They're off.
Oh, thanks. And we're going to skip Makeup Stephanie, right?
Yeah.
But we'll go into
running a little late.
National days. Today is National Sticker Day. National Rubber Ducky Day. I don't know why.
Now that's about that's a good one to why we only do one national day
Why?
day, because that's getting ridiculous.
It's National Rubber Ducky Day. Where's that place where they put a bunch of rubber duckies in the pond and they release all of them? Do you know what I'm talking about? Where it's like a river, like a giant river. It has some cause. I think it's like for Children's Hospital or something.
Really? I missed that one.
I'm gonna exit out of that.
Yes, I missed it. I didn't have my headphones on. I'm thinking, what's going on here? There's a funky slide guitar music. Comes on every Monday through Friday, live at 5 on IE Newswire on Facebook, Twitch, and
on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and share us all over your world. And check out our Instagram page and make sure you hit that follow button on our Twitch.
What a wild and woolly day today. President Donald J. Trump got impeached for the second time. He was only the third president that was impeached. He was impeached, about a little over a year ago. They pulled that. Nothing happened. It went to the Senate. They had a slight trial. It was gone. The Senate did not remove him from office, and here we are. Joe Biden next week will take over the presidency. Trump will be out, but Pelosi and her gang had to get one last lick in going out the door, I guess. I mean, I guess that's how petty our politics has gotten.
So, but now he can't run again for president, correct?
No.
Or it has to pass?
No, he would. That's going to be a whole can of worms that's coming on in the Senate if they remove him from office. While he's out of office, will they be able to prevent him from running again or nothing, and yada, yada. And Pelosi said, and we ran the clip of it, I think yesterday or Monday, that she said on the 60 Minutes interview that was her intention, or one of her big intentions, was to try and get it to where Trump cannot run for office. I mean, those two just hate each other. We'll pick up that little deal here coming on in a minute as we go. But something that I know a lot of people have been anticipating and waiting for. Dun 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 dun.
Da.
Disneyland is open. You can now go to Disneyland, and guess what you cannot do is get on the Matterhorn or ride the rides or anything else.
You're pissing me off.
I could tell that. Could tell by the look. But you can go to the schedule an appointment. It has been turned into you can get into the parking lot now, because now it is turned into a VID Vacs center. But you have to call. You either have to work or live in Orange County and make an appointment and get in there. I guess they're going to do Dodger Stadium, or they're having in that. But I thought I'd give you a little hope just for a flash and second.
And then rip it off.
Yes, and then poof, the parachute just went collapse. You're free falling.
The news too much. You're just turning into evil. That's mean.
It is. But seriously though, another reason why we should, and I lost the petition again, why we should recall Gavin2020.com. North Dakota, South Dakota, I believe, have used up almost all of their, like 70% of their vaccine. And the vaccines went out proportionally. If, say, 10% of the population, say California's 40 million people, they got 4 million doses. Say North Dakota's 1 million population, they got 100,000. North Dakota has used up about 70% of their vaccine now. California, guess what the percentage is in California?
Can we let our viewers type in and see if they want to guess? No?
Take a guess.
All right. How much we've used?
Yeah, how much have we used of the vaccine that we got in the first round?
70.
23%.
Dang it. I was way too high.
North Dakota, South Dakota are about 3 times.
But is that because maybe they're not releasing it quick enough?
Who?
Whoever has them. I don't know who the hell has them.
Yes. Yes.
Because not anybody can go and just go get a shot. I can't go and get one.
North Dakota, South Dakota have got this thing figured out. California is stuck in the mud for some reason.
Right.
Would you like to know why?
Do I have a choice? Of course I do. Please enlighten me.
So they went and said, what a concept. They went to the hospitals and said, here's the vaccine. What do we need to do? These are the vulnerable people, people over 65, pre-existing conditions, da-da-da-da-da. Get it done. Oh, okay, we can handle that. What does California do? Put rules and regulations and fairness and sensitivity and they've been throwing away vaccinations because they couldn't find nobody that fit the criteria that Gavin Newsom came up with and his buddy the mortician up their galley and whoever else is putting this all together. They've been flushing them down the toilet, and these things are not cheap. They got to be, well, the one from Pfizer has to be it kept at 75 below zero. The Moderna one's a little less, but it's still, all of it's got to be kept in cold storage. It's a very expensive vaccine to disseminate. But we have stupid rules and regulations and this and that, and maybe if you're ethnicity, and maybe we ain't going to give it to those white hillbillies because we don't want them to survive or whatever of that. Now, I don't really care because I ain't planning on getting...
Are you upset?
I ain't planning on getting the vaccination. But if you are inclined to do so, and you want to get that, and you think that's protecting you, this is not the state to be in because we got a cluster foxtrot going on about the distributing the vaccine while our officials stand in their hands and go to Dodger Stadium. And you want to figure, you want to talk about social distancing. In the 489 other states, North and South Dakota probably got to be about the biggest social distancing crowd in the world. There's not big population centers like there are in LA, San Francisco, San Diego, Sacramento, on and on and on. Riverside, San Bernardino. The logistics of that should be much simpler. But Governor Christie Noma, South Dakota, and I can't remember who the one is in North Dakota, but, they said, let's give it to the health care professionals who've been doing this since time memoriam and know how to get this done, and give it to them and say, here you go, wildly successful. We want to do diversity and fairness and don't upset anybody, and here we go. And vaccines are sitting in the shelf. People are not getting vaccinated in California. And as Fauci, the bow to the altar of Dr. Fauci, he's just said, we got to have this vaccine. That's what we're going to do to get this all done with. Well, we ain't never going to be done in California at the rate they're going.
Mark writes in on Facebook, it's because nobody wants to take it.
From what I hear, there's lines of people that they stack up everywhere trying to get it. Now, I mean, from the reports out there of that,
I know a ton of people that have gotten it though. I've been watching them like a hawk to see what happens to them. No, I'm serious. But they're all in the healthcare field too.
And we had that report.
Carla writes it on Facebook. I don't want the vaccine. I need more information on it. I agree with her 100%. I think it's scary. You go first.
Well, you're going to wait a lot of time for that because I ain't planning. I mean, I'm waiting for the mandatory, or not the mandatory, but you can't do anything unless you get the vaccine. Because that's coming. Here in a week. Just wait till Uncle Joe gets, that can hardly hold his eyes open, gets in the presidency.
And Stephen writes in on Facebook, 65 and older can now get the vaccine. I don't want my mom getting it or my dad.
Well, that's what it should be. I mean, if it's doing the vulnerable population, most people that died of this thing are over 65 and have underlying health conditions and yada. Yeah. North Dakota and South Dakota, it didn't take them long to figure this out. Of how to get it distributed. If this is going to solve the problem, then there should be no consequence. There should be no excuses of why we are sitting on about 70 to 80% of the vaccine that we've been given over a month ago. Other than we have totally incompetent government that runs all this. And if you want to keep it up, it's just going to get worse.
Stephen writes in on Facebook, it's a good thing there's plenty of lab rats before I get it.
I don't know. It's absolutely incredulous of what's going on in this whole ordeal that we've had. It drives me absolutely insane.
I think you were already insane before all of it, though. A little bit.
Maybe.
I'm just kidding.
Who knows? We again, as we start off the show with on that, Donald Trump was impeached today on the House floor. Just a little background. Impeachment is just a majority. All it takes is a majority of the House of Representatives. They could pretty much do it. They didn't do it with no investigation, no trial. Just, we don't like Trump. We don't want him to run again. We're going to try and damage him on the way out. Here we go. So the next step is it goes to the Senate. He's going to be out in a week, from less than a week now today of that. The Senate is most likely is not going to take it up till after he's out of office. And I say, what is the point? How are you going to remove a president that is not in office? That slays the hell out of me. Anyway, why the Senate would say, what the hell are you want us to do with it? Why would they even wait? Why are you wasting my taxpayer and everybody's taxpayer dollars on that when he's already out of office anyway by the time you get it? I mean, they said the earliest the Senate could take it up is January 19th. Well, January 20th at 12 o'clock, Joe Biden's going to be president. And I mean, and the rules of the Senate will probably not let them do it in 24 hours anyway. So it's a moot point. What are you going to do? I think they should do. If they waste any senator that wastes any of our tax dollars on this at all for any reason should be primaried, voted out of office, anything, because why waste the time on this? You're not changing it. He's already out of office. Why have a Senate hearing to remove a president that is already removed?
Carla writes in on Facebook, to remove his hope of ever running again.
It's called a vote. You can vote for Trump or not, or whoever you want. Why, Carla, I really don't need you or anybody else telling me who to vote for.
She's not. She's getting rid of him, so you never have a choice to vote for him again.
Exactly. I don't need, that's that. And there's even a question mark after he's out of office if they can even do that. There's a debate going on. Why are we going through this? It makes absolutely no sense. By next week on January 20th, he will be a private citizen. If they want to indict him running through a trial on that, that's on his enchilada. Now he's back he's subject to the laws of the United States, the court system, investigations, anything else. Whatever that brings. Now, if he's convicted of a felony or something, and I don't even know if you could, even if you're convicted of a felony, I don't know if you can be barred from running for president on that. I have to look at that, but there might be a provision in there that does that. We'll have to check that out. But either way, he's going to be a private citizen. If he's committed all these crimes that everybody had, go investigate. Biden's got the attorney general that they want to go over there and investigate or whatever. So New York state attorney generals or whatever, then it's Katie bar the door. He's subject to everything on there. There's no sense in wasting my tax dollars, our time, especially in the perilous times that we are in, to do that. I mean, it's there is no point to this, and they didn't even have a reason for removing him because he never incited any riot called for, or there isn't any evidence to the point of that anyway. They did not even bring that out in the impeachment. We're going to do Matt Gaetz. He was on the House floor with this speech coming up. Here we go.
To me, that impeachment is an itch that doesn't go away with just one scratch. It also seems that President Trump may be most likely to be impeached when he is correct. Before the last presidential impeachment, President Trump rightly pointed out the improper activities of the Biden crime family, and subsequently he's been proven right. And don't think for a moment, Madam Speaker, that we're going to drop that or stop our pursuit for the truth. Before that, we had the Russia hoax, where you had the president rightly making claims that Hillary Clinton and the DNC were colluding with Russians to disorient our democracy. How right he turned out to be. And then we have the 2020 presidential election, where the president correctly pointed out unconstitutional behavior, voting irregularities, concerns over tabulations, dead people voting, and now impeachment again. When they go low, we kick them. Eric Holder, former Attorney General under Barack Obama, breaching the Capitol was as low can be. We all denounce it. But who is it that they're kicking? The president, who created soaring highs for our economy, rising wages before the pandemic, 400 miles of wall to stop the caravans, who drew down troops in the Middle East and showed empathy for the forgotten men and women of our country. It's why so many people love him so much, and it's why they're kicking all of us. This president has faced unprecedented hatred and resistance from big media, big tech, and big egos, from congressional leaders on both sides of the aisle. Before the rioters tore through that glass, Speaker Pelosi stood at that rostrum and tore through the president's State of the Union speech, inciting anger, resentment, division. Some believe that truly these true colors are being shown now through this divisive partisan impeachment. The Speaker of the House, I would request an additional 40 seconds.
Go through the speaker, please. The gentleman from Ohio.
Madam Speaker, I yield the gentleman additional 40 seconds.
4 seconds or 40 seconds?
Yep, 40 seconds.
45 seconds.
I thank the gentleman. The Speaker said to us just moments ago, words matter. But apparently those words don't matter when they're uttered by Democrats. When the gentlelady from Massachusetts calls for unrest in the streets, when the gentlelady from California brazenly brags that she called for people to get in the faces of those who serve and support the president. I denounced political violence from all ends of the spectrum, but make no mistake, the left in America has incited far more political violence than the right. For months, our cities burned, police stations burned, our businesses were shattered, and they said nothing. Or they cheerled for it, and they fundraised for it, and they allowed it to happen in the greatest country in the world. Now, some have cited the metaphor that the president lit the flame. Well, they lit actual flames, actual fires, and we put them out.
Expired. There will be order in the House.
I yield back.
Telling it like it is on the floor of the House, Matt Gaetz, of that. Do you think this is about anything but we're on revenge? We want to take this country over. We want to destroy everything that's built in the United States. They're the ones that, Matt Gaetz said, you're the ones that are decrying this, the ones that are voting for impeachment. They are the ones that have egged on this whole thing that's went on all in 2020, and now all of a sudden it's all Trump's fault.
It's so crazy to me. It makes me sad. How can people be so stupid? Like, to actually believe that, I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but to actually believe that he had anything to do with it. Aren't people seeing it yet? I don't even follow politics, and I'm like, really? Come on. I don't know about everybody else, though, but I'm so tired of hearing about it. Coronavirus and Trump, I'd be fine if I never hear either of those again for a little bit. At least a day.
Well, you're probably not, because
You think?
if they went to the again, what was the whole point? There is no reason that they're calling the House to do this. There is no emergency. Pelosi going up, practically demanding that Pence do the 25th Amendment. If you want to follow the Constitution, it is about a president who is incapacitated medically, not that you don't like him, that the vice president and the cabinet can take out not take out, but remove the president from office because he is not physically or mentally able to do the duties of the office. Now, no matter what you think about Trump or whichever way, he is not mentally or physically unable to be, to carry out the duties of president of the United States. You might not like it. I'm sure in the coming months it's going to be Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, and I'm sure I'm not going to like a lot of things they're going to do, but I'm not going to say take the 25th Amendment out. And if there is a case to make for the 25th Amendment, it's going to be Joe Biden. I mean, if that guy is not in cognitive decline, I don't know, what is. I'm no medical doctor, give medical advice, but we've had experts on all across the board, and they have said from what they see on that, he shows all the signs. Joe Biden, why don't you release all your medical records? Y'all wanted Trump's tax returns. Why don't you release every stinking paper on Joe Biden's medical records and let us look at them?
And can we get the tax stuff, too?
Oh yeah,
Well, I mean,
I'd
why
like to
not?
see where he got that $15 million out of
No, it's kinda scary.
after he was out of office.
I like that. Don't show us your medical records.
Well, yeah. Let's see if he really is. Maybe if there maybe.
But even if he did go and get like medical stuff done, they would like probably hush it and hide it.
Are you tinfoiling hat?
I'm not tinfoiling hat in reality. Crap.
Is reality finally hitting you in the face with this
Yeah, no, it's
stuff?
pissing me off and making me angry. I blame you though, so it's all right. It works out great.
It is. No, it is. I mean,
No, but really, that's just the way the world is these days. I don't trust or believe anything. It's sad.
it is on the
Stephen writes in on Facebook, Nancy will definitely pull the 25th on Biden.
You will see. Here's a
See, now
Terry
he's
Sewell.
he's
I wanna see
tempo.
what he
Ability.
says.
And everyone must be accountable. Who isn't? I will be
Gentlewoman's
voting
time
to
has
impeach,
expired.
and I ask
The
all
gentleman
others
from New
who
York
love this
wishes to
democracy
reserve.
to vote for impeachment.
The gentleman from back. The gentleman from New York reserves. The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We reserve.
The gentleman from Ohio wishes to reserve. The gentleman from New York is recognized.
Madam Speaker, I now yield 30 seconds to the distinguished gentlelady from Alabama, Ms. Sewell.
The gentlewoman, Ms. Sewell, is recognized for 30 seconds.
Madam Speaker, I rise today to support impeachment. I do so with a heavy heart and a lasting and searing memory of being in this gallery, the People's House, right up there, fearing for my life. And why? Because the President of the United States incited others to be violent, a mob of insurgencies in this House. It's unacceptable. It led to the killing of 5 Americans. Blood is on this House. We must do something about it. I ask that we move from stopping the steal to healing, but healing requires accountability, and everyone must be accountable. Who isn't?
If we're going to heal, then quit lying about it. He did not organize that, or there is no evidence yet to show that he organized
Gentlewoman's time is
of doing that. You've got to be, again, if you're going to start with a lie on all this stuff, and some of the racist, and I'm trying to find it, some of the racist comments that were made today by some of the representatives that were there were absolutely fantastic. I mean, not fantastic, wrong word. I mean, unbelievable of what they said. A couple of them up on the floor just they made Maxine Waters look almost partly sane, which is very difficult to do.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to work at doing that. I mean, to run the lies and the systemic racism and white supremacists, Trump organized white supremacists, and on and on and on and on it went. I mean, in the House of Representatives, there is that feeling of that going on. It said on the House floor today. I mean, it's. I don't know. I mean, it's just. I mean, it's almost. If it wasn't watching it, I wouldn't believe it.
There's a question for you.
Yes.
And don't get mad at me for asking, okay?
I won't get
All right.
mad.
Carla writes in on Facebook. So if there's evidence, Roy, would you change your view on it?
If you can show credible evidence that Trump was organizing a insurgents on that, of course. Where is no evidence that Trump is organizing none of the comments he said we're going up to there to march peacefully. It was a political process. If you are trying to ban free political speech, if you are trying to ban that, the First Amendment and our country, you have no country as you know it today. You have a dictatorship, totalitarian deal. Nothing Trump said was there to incite a riot. He said we're going up to peacefully protest, give them hell, yada, yada, yada. There was nothing saying go in there and charge and take over the Capitol or anything like that. There is no evidence of that. If you have some, then please let not only us, let the Congress and the FBI and the investigative and the Attorney General know it. Because so far, nobody has come up with anything.
It's so crazy. Especially comparing that day to the riots that happened over summer. It's day and night. Why didn't organizations get backlash for all of it? I mean, it was cheered on. I find it.
Oh, they're covering over her. This is pull up number 4.
Okay.
I don't remember her name, but PBS. You don't think there's something going on? This lady was saying systemic racism, that Trump was whipping up the white national supremacists, yada, 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 da, 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 da. That's why I can't play it, because they have, I'm going to show you. Let's see.
To a terrible catastrophe that occurred in our country as a result of this president's behavior. I mean, what are the consequences for this country? What are the implications if we do nothing? You know, to some of my Republican friends who say, well, let's move on, don't worry, you know, he's almost gone, no big deal. No, if we do not...
That's what's going on, Carla. Go ahead.
Mark writes in on Facebook. Shoot, where to go? I mean, why didn't they not stop the Portland, Oregon from doing what they were doing?
Exactly. Well, all of it. The riots, the looting, the occupations, the everything going on. They were egging it on. Maxine Waters, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, and on and on and on. They're saying, don't stop. We need to stop. It's going to stop. It's not going to stop. It shouldn't stop, and it's not going to stop after the election. Paraphrasing Kamala Harris.
Yeah. I think I agree with you, right? A little bit.
I hope.
Stephen writes in and asks if you saw the video that Trump released today.
Yes,
if you guys saw it. Stephen, write in and let us know what the video is.
Tell us what the gist of it is coming in. No, I didn't see it. You'd probably have to dig deep in the dark recesses as much as that they've been blocking all this stuff. On top of it.
Computer died.
Boy, I'm trying to find. Oh yeah, maybe it's in. No, that's the PBS one again. I think. Let's see if we can find. I want to see if we can get that lady on. That maybe it's on this one. No, I bet you it isn't. This is.
My computer died.
Huh?
My computer
Your
died.
computer died.
Yep.
What did you do to make your computer die?
I used it and didn't charge it. Plug it in. Hey, Jess.
Hello.
Of that. We'll be joining KMET here in a minute, and we'll have Susan Shelley on at the just after the break here as we join into that. Let's see if I can find her on this one. Maybe we'll have good luck and we will find it over here, because you got to hear this woman. And the one that came on right after her, it's unbelievable.
I'm going to need that jingle palette in a minute.
30
I'm
seconds.
going to need that jingle palette in a minute.
Okay.
I feel so lost without my comments. I don't know what to say now.
20 seconds.
I need to figure out what Steven was talking about. Steven,
Yeah,
help me.
where's the video? Yeah, because there's so much going on this stuff.
10 seconds.
There's a Trump video. Where are you gonna?
5 seconds.
IE Newswire Daily is on the air. The following is a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management.
There's that funky slide guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday on the Mighty Vet 1490 AM, broadcasting all over the airwaves in the Inland Empire on the AM band, joining our vast video audience on Twitch, Facebook, and
on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and share us all over your world, and hit that purple follow button on our Twitch account.
yes, as we said earlier in that, Disneyland is open.
I hate it when you say that. When you told me that earlier, I was so happy.
Yes, you're almost, except you're not going on the Matterhorn or any of the Space Mountain or whatever any of the rides are going on. The parking lot is open, distributing the VID Vacs, which has been a disaster because we've been, rules and regulations. North and South Dakota have got their vaccines out at a 3 times clip that we have by giving it to the healthcare professionals and giving it to the vulnerable people. California, we got to do diversity, this, and nobody gets a cut in line. And practically all of our vaccines are sitting in the refrigerator, costing us more money to keep in the cold storage while we come up with a plan of fairness of that. While others can figure out, it isn't really simple. Hospitals and healthcare professionals have been doing this for the ages. They would probably, be able to get this out, and voila, they did. Well, we in California suffer the consequences. It is absolutely incredulous what goes on in this area, back and forth. I mean, do we really just like shooting ourselves in the foot multiple times here in California?
I don't, but if you need a helping hand, I'll help you.
I'm sure you would.
I'll probably.
Actually, no, you're a pretty good shot. That's why I would.
I can't throw for life.
Throw,
yes, but I can shoot.
Yes, you can shoot, but if you were throwing a knife or something, I'd say like I said, if Stephanie's throwing something at you, just stand perfectly still. Your odds of getting hit are immense. Immensely that you're not going to get hit. If you move, you might accidentally move into the way of where she's not through, where it's not going of that. So of that.
See, I can't even hit him. I didn't even get you, did I?
That's closer. You can't even. Proof is in the pudding.
Damn it.
No, it is. I mean, like I say, you got to laugh about this stuff, else you would cry. Because
or throw stuff at Roy. It's
great
release.
At least I'm good for something.
Exactly.
Other than that, we had the Trump impeachment hearings, and the House again impeached Donald J. Trump for the second time in about a year. We've had the whole deal. It's going on. It's happening. It goes to the Senate. They got to have 2/3 to convict. They're not going. They're not going to. I don't see how in the rules of the Senate that they could come up and get to this thing And it's a moot point. He's going to be out of office before the Senate even deals with it. So what in the heck is the whole thing about the impeachment other than we just are, Pelosi and the kooks do not like Trump, and they're going to give him one swift kick in the ass using our money to do it without any regard for that. They talk about healing and this and try to do anything anywhere that got us to this point, and they were the provocateurs that led to this whole thing, yet they are trying to blame Trump, who never said, or there is no evidence anywhere that he has any responsibility in this stuff anyway. But to probably get someone who's a heck of a lot saner than I am's opinion or perspective on this, and who follows this stuff probably even at a clip than I do, we have Susan Shelley on. She's editorial writer for the Press Enterprise, San Bernardino Sun, Redlands Daily Facts, and Inland Daily Bulletin, and a gazillion more newspapers all across Southern California, but more important to me, Vice President of the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association, Susan Shelley. Welcome to IE Newswire with Steph and Roy.
Well, thank you, Roy.
Hi, Susan.
So we got the second impeachment in a little over a year of Donald J. Trump, as he's going to leave the office anyway in another week. And they are trying to blame Trump for inciting riots, Pelosi and the crew, and Maxine Waters and Kamala Harris, when for almost a year they have been telling people, we are not, do not stop these riots. Kamala Harris, the senator from California, soon to be vice president of the United States, said they should not stop back in August. They will not stop before the election. We knew they will not stop after the election, nor should they. But now they're trying to blame Trump, who never said anything that anywhere, or there is any evidence that he incited anything to do with invading the Capitol building last week, Susan Shelley.
Well, that is true. He did get people very agitated about election fraud. He did do that. He sincerely believes that the election was stolen, and he said so. And he didn't stop saying so. So a lot of people were very riled up, and he did tell everybody to march down to the Capitol and peacefully protest. He said peacefully. He never said break the windows and storm the chambers. He obviously never said that and never wanted that. So what are they doing with this impeachment? They seem to be concerned that he's going to run again, and they seem to be concerned that they won't be able to beat him. Because why else would they go down this path of distracting from whatever it is Joe Biden wants to do? The fact that he's been impeached today, but the Senate is not in session, means that the trial can't happen until Trump has already left office. So that's probably not even constitutionally permissible. That'll probably be fought in court, whether they can even have a trial. But let's say they do have a trial. They would need a 2/3 vote in the Senate to convict him. They're not going to get 17 Republican votes. There's no way. They only got 10 in the House. They're not going to get 17 Republicans in the Senate to cast that vote and then go home to the voters. That's just not going to happen. So this is a doomed exercise, and that means that Trump will have survived 2 impeachment attempts, and that means they can't cast their vote to ban him from running for office, and that means that he can run for office in 2024 as someone who battled against these forces which were trying to throw him out of politics from the day he came down the escalator. And I think they're very worried about that. The Democrats are very worried, and even some of the Republicans who have their own plans for 2024 are worried that this is a political force they can't stop. And I think that's what this impeachment is about, this huge rush where they can't even have a hearing. They just have to go straight to the vote and impeach him again. It's very politically suspect. It looks like they think he's going to have the 1968 Elvis Presley comeback special and start his career over again.
I kind of chuckle about that, but and again, let the political process work. That's if people want to give them the opportunity, as Pelosi said in 60 Minutes Sunday, well, the main thing of this is we don't want Trump to run again. Why are you so afraid of that What is it that you are hiding, or this, that you don't want Trump, or want to run against Trump, or make sure he doesn't run against you?
Especially when he's not even out yet.
Yes.
I mean, that's insane.
2024, between now and 2024 is a lifetime in politics. Hundreds of things can happen in this thing. Trump might not, by the time 2024 comes around, Trump might say, the heck with this, I don't need, who knows?
We have a comment on Facebook for Susan. Susan Mark writes in on Facebook, Susan, your opinion on what you think the president should do next? And if he cannot run again, who do you think he'll elect?
Well, I don't think he should make a decision on whether he's running again. I definitely don't think he should rule it out. I think he should assess the situation as the Biden administration takes over and see what they do. We haven't heard the last of the corruption of Hunter Biden and the corruption of the rest of the Biden family. That's about to come back to center stage. That has not gone away while the press has been busy ignoring it and the tech companies have been busy suppressing it. That has not gone away. So you're right, it's a lifetime in politics. The next election is the midterm for Congress and some of the Senate seats, and Trump will be a force in that, chooses to deploy those resources. He's going to have fundraising power. I don't think he's destroyed by this terrible publicity and this deplatforming of the tech companies. I think he's strengthened by it. And in the long run, Americans are going to be very unsettled by the idea that expressing an opinion can get you job canceled from your social media accounts, thrown out of your bank account, people dropping you as a legal client, all of this because of your political opinion. That's really in the United States. You have a political opinion and you express it online and they declare it to be incitement of violence because you question the election results. Well, you know something? Lots of people question the election results and that's their right. And today there was an arrest in San Antonio of someone who was guilty or accused of election fraud. So it's not that it doesn't happen. In July, there was an indictment from the United States Department of Justice of an ex-congressman in the Philadelphia area for ballot box stuffing back in 2016, 2015, 2014. That's how long it took. He was indicted in 2020 for elections going back that far. So it's not that it doesn't happen, and people think it did, and they have the right to discuss it if they choose to. Even the president has the right to discuss it. And to suggest that discussion of election fraud is incitement to violence, that is a very propagandistic manipulation that's designed to shut down dissent. And we should never do that in America. We should never shut down political speech in America. That is a path to some very bad outcomes.
Yeah, as I said earlier, our country ceases to exist as we know it and have known it for 200 plus years. If you're going to get punished for political speech or expressing your opinion or right to redress your government grievances or right to assemble or anything else, you're done. You are under a communistic dictatorship, totalitarian rule. You are now a slave, and you have a plantation owner system.
Exactly, and we're seeing this a lot. You know, when you question the mask mandates and the COVID restrictions, it's like you're murdering people. You shouldn't be allowed to say that. You hear that. You hear this sort of censorious rhetoric mostly from the left, saying that no one should be allowed to say certain things. That is a very dangerous path. And if we want to live in a free country, we have to limit the power of the government. And even these tech companies, which are technically private companies, they have a very, what would you call it, incestuous relationship with the government. They have special protection under Section 230 from liability. They work with the government on these national security letter information data dumps. They turn over material on their customers and their users to the government without a warrant. They cooperate with the intelligence services against Americans. And this makes them something other than just another private company on the street. But even just another private company on the street, like a bakery, has certain legal obligations to serve all customers without discrimination based on who they are or what they believe. And the tech companies that are coming after conservatives should be aware that that is not necessarily legal just because they're private companies. This is very concerning. I don't think we've heard the end of it. I think there will be litigation. There might be antitrust litigation. This business of throwing Parler off of the Amazon servers and shutting that company down because supposedly someone has used it for speech that is insightful or speech that's not approved or what. I didn't see any reference to a particular post that caused Amazon to make that decision. They just cited the content moderation policy, which they didn't think was strong enough, and boom, company was out of business in 24 hours. That is horrifying. And it could happen to anybody. I mean, today it's about the Capitol riot. Tomorrow it could be about the mask mandate. 2 days later it could be about something else, where if you say the wrong thing, you are destroyed. And that is the end of freedom in America. I can't believe we're in this situation, having this discussion. This is so serious. This is not your typical routine political disagreement. This is a purge of dissent in the United States. And the deplatforming, essentially, of 75 million people who voted for Donald Trump. This is really shocking. And if the Democrats think that they're going to control the three branches of government, or the House, the Senate, and the White House, they won't be controlling the Supreme Court unless they pack it. But if they think that with this temporary control of the legislative branch and the White House, they're going to be able to abolish freedom in the United States without any opposition, without anybody noticing, they're very much mistaken. And they'll be destroyed by the effort. And if the mainstream media supports the effort, if they play into this, they will lose also. They will lose their readers, they will lose their viewers, and people will find other avenues for communications and news gathering, and they will never recover. They will never get people back. They will never get that trust back again. And I'm really sad to say that, because I work in legacy media. I write for newspapers. And I am very much saddened by the loss of credibility, by the letters I get from people saying, I can't stand any of the stuff in the news section. It's the AP and the New York Times, and it's so biased. And why are they running that? And I don't have an answer for them. I don't know why it's so biased. I'm disappointed that it has been, it's been such an interesting 4 years, and so much has been accomplished by the Trump administration, and that gets no coverage. And stuff that didn't even happen is getting coverage. Well, the president incited them to go storm the Capitol. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Oh, the president said that the troops were, what was that strange comment that the people who were in the room denied that it happened, but someone off the record said the president insulted the dead troops from World War I.
Yes, something, right.
And that story was all over the place. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And it didn't happen. It didn't happen. The people who were in the room said it didn't happen. The president said it didn't happen. Nobody had a recording or a note of it. It was just one of these background smears, and it's all over your screen. It's all over Twitter. It's all over Facebook. It's all over the newspapers that the president dissed the troops. But he didn't do it. It wasn't true. And then you have things that aren't, like 3 Middle East peace agreements, and you can't find that with a magnifying glass.
Yes, it is. And this thing, and it is. This is bigger than Trump or Joe Biden or anybody else. I mean, if they can do it to Trump, which if you again, I say to all the Trump haters or think this is getting their jollies about this, of this, what happens when they come after you or the ones you support? Because once you open this Pandora's box, once you take, the 14th Amendment is equal protection under the law to protect against this thing. To protect against this exact same thing. You cannot apply a different standard to Donald Trump, to Stephanie, to Shelley or Roy or anybody else. You've all got to apply this law and the Constitution and everything equally, else you have a right to sue, and the government should be backing you up to withhold those rights, not take them away like what happened in the House today.
Well, I think it was a real political error by the Democrats. They're very emotional. You know, one of the things, obviously, if your workplace is attacked and you're the one under the table cowering for 2 hours thinking someone's going to shoot you, that's a very, very emotional experience. And the fact that the people who were in the hallways were not really, they didn't know that when they were under the table. So I'll grant them the right to be really upset and very emotional about it. But an impeachment in that emotional climate with no hearings is really foolish. That's a very reckless political decision. And they didn't have to do it. They could turn their focus to the new administration and be positive and try to secure the votes that they're going to need to get what they want to do done in the next year or so. But instead of doing that, it's just Donald Trump's center stage vengeance. And that's unfortunate. Vengeance is usually not a good political move. Anger is not an appealing look for politicians. And I think they're making a mistake. Time will tell.
Go ahead.
Stephen writes in on Facebook. He wants to know if you knew anything about President Donald Trump's video today. If you saw.
You know, I saw a still frame and a report on it. He was sitting at his desk in the Oval Office. I understand he put it out on the POTUS Twitter account. And it says that no one should be violent, that violence is not part of his movement, and his supporters should never be violent and aren't violent. So I think he's trying to, I think it's damage control, frankly. I think he has political damage that he has to control because of the Senate vote, if there is one. So I think he's probably doing what he needs to do to start to shift the story. And, of course, he doesn't support violence. Nobody supports violence. Nobody supported the ransacking of the Capitol. This was not really a coup. This was a lot of very frustrated people who think the election was stolen. And some people who may be violent, who have another agenda having something to do with Internet rumors and QAnon, and I'm not sure what that's all about. But certainly the vast majority of people who were out there at the Washington Monument and on the ellipse, boy, if you saw the helicopter photos, it was just a massive crowd. Most of them were ordinary Americans who voted for the president, who support the president, who were concerned that the election was stolen and wanted those objections to be heard. And to treat them like terrorists is just wrong. It's just wrong. And that narrative is not going to survive in the daylight for very long.
No, it won't. You got about a minute left. Tell them why they should join Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association.
Oh, it's more important than ever. The legislature came back to work. So here comes the tax. So you should join the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association at hjta.org, hjta.org. Join us for just $15 a year and strengthen the voice of taxpayers in California. We are working to protect you, to protect Prop 13. We are working to reverse the damage from Prop 19, which raises taxes on property that's transferred within families. We don't think that should be happening, and we're going to try to reverse that part of the measure. So we're busy, and we need all the help we can get. Sign up for the email alerts. We'll let you know when to call your legislators and scream at them how to vote, because otherwise too much of this stuff slips through when no one's watching, and you don't want to find out about it when it's too late. So join HJTA and be a member.
Thanks, Susan. We appreciate you being on. We look forward to you coming on next time.
Roy's mic
Thank you, Steph.
Roy's mic went dead, so he's leaving me to...
Okay. Thank you, Roy. Thanks, Steph.
You're
See you next
welcome.
time.
Take care. Have a good one. That was Susan Shelley.
There you are. I'm back on the air.
Thank God.
I saw that deer in the headlights look when I'm pointing it.
Well, I clicked the button to do the talking.
Of that. No, it was good. We'll have Susan on next week. That.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Carla. And all.
Be nice to Carla.
Of that, you see, 80 million votes. I'm going to give you that 80 million votes for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Are you going to ask for Kamala Harris to be impeached because she incited riots? Said riot should go, her words in August of 2020, paraphrasing, the riots, the violence should not stop before the election or after the election, nor should nor should it. That is Kamala Harris. You want to talk about somebody, and we go through, are you going to call for, on January 20th at 12 noon, or whenever, I don't know, I think they swear the vice president in first, but whenever that is, are you going to call for the impeachment of Kamala Harris as vice president of the United States for inciting and continuing and egging on riots in our country?
Can I answer? Because I know what's going to happen. I'm going to say no on that one, but we'll see. I'm really curious to see how this goes.
Well, isn't that an honest?
No, it is.
I mean,
it's not going to happen. But I mean,
all the ones that wanted, and every one of those, all the Democrats and 10 Republicans in this Congress that voted to impeach Donald J. Trump, that should be the first order of business, which on January 20th, after Kamala Harris is sworn in, they should draw up articles of impeachment, just as they did today, bringing them up and vote on them on the same day for inciting, continuing, and advocating for inciting riots.
And I want to see those medical records, too. I think that was great. That was like the best thing you said today.
I have my moments.
Very few.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. Join us Saturday at 3. We're going to meet Donnie up at the top of Mount Rubidoux. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, it will.
Get outside, get some fresh air.
Yes, just to get outside and do something different instead of going inside.
Yeah. And then Roy's going to be at the top of Mount Rubidoux. You can just do I'm just kidding.
Maybe I'll rethink that going on Mount Rubidoux.
Yes, Stephen, at 3 p.m. We'll be at the top. I think we're planning on...
Maybe we'll do a live shot.
If we have service up there. That might be a little sketchy.
It should be. We're up high enough. Well, we'll find out. Hey, tomorrow's another day, and Saturday's a long way away. Until tomorrow, we're gone.
You rhymed there for a minute.